My name is Fan, and I'm 18 years old.
Cool. What are you doing to solve today's problems?
Um, well, currently I'm a student at USC, but what I do to solve social problems is I actually started a tutoring nonprofit in 2008 called 121Reach. And what we do is we match high school tutors with middle school tutees, and it's a one-on-one basis. So every high school tutor is matched with one middle school tutee, and we, in addition to focusing on academics, we also try to build up friendships and build up a positive relationship between the tutors and the tutees, so that the tutees will have, like, in addition to making better grades, they'll feel more inspired to do well in school, and they'll start actually liking what they're learning.
Cool. How big did that get? How many students did you end up tutoring?
We have about 350 right now, we've had about 350 that have been through the program. About 1 year at a time, we have around like 120 to 100, about 120 students per year. And this year we actually have another location, so that's about 30 more students there. So
Cool.
we're really excited about that.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like it's been really successful.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about some ways that you've had to work across traditional boundaries to get things done? Because the coalition we're working is very focused on, and we'd like to hear how people have done that in the past.
I think definitely one way we worked across traditional boundaries is just engaging youth in the process of social change. Since I think a lot of there's actually a lot going on in education right now, especially with all of Arnie Duncan's proposals and Michelle Rhee. So there is a lot of involvement, but it's mostly from an adult point of view, and a lot of it is based on firing these teachers, or building a new school, or like making these charter schools. But there isn't as much involvement on the youth level. So a lot of what we're doing is we're trying to use other kids. I mean, high schoolers are only like 4 years, not that much older than middle school students. We're old enough to where we have a lot of experience, and we've gone through a lot more, but we still can relate to middle school students in ways that other age groups can't. So, pairing up these two age groups is like a really unique way to approach the problem, because middle school students will respond uniquely to high school students. Because I definitely remember in middle school, whenever I saw some high school students, I'd be like, oh my gosh, they're so cool. So I think we invoke that sort of response a lot in middle school students, and then that way we actually help them learn more, and we help them develop more of a positive attitude towards school.
Cool. What inspired you to take action in the first place? Was there like a moment you decided, or was it more of a gradual thing?
I think it was a lot more of a gradual thing, but there is one instance that I remember that really influenced my decision to start 121Reach. So when I was in between freshman and sophomore year, I was a counselor at a YMCA camp for inner city kids, and I remember I'd be playing with these kids, and we had this one game where we'd hunt for treasure in the sand, and one of the treasures that a kid found was a bullet. And he just thought that, I know, right? He just thought that it was like a regular thing too, which was like really shocking, because you're not, like, as a young child, you're not supposed to find those things lying around.
Yeah.
And I remember, their parents would be swearing at them, and these children are so young, but they had a lot of positive energy, and I knew that they had so much potential to do something more to get out of their situation. And I realized that a lot of that had to do with education. So so that really was my starting point in starting 121Reach. I knew that I couldn't get to them right away just because of logistics, but I knew that I could start small in my community and then hopefully reach them one step at a time. Since really one of the main, I guess one of the techniques behind 121Reach is that we have one middle school pair with one high school, but this structure is really easily replicable. So we eventually we want to have this structure across every school in America.
Cool. I like that. I like the big aspirations.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely going to take a while, but it's in our hopes.
Yeah. No. What are some of the challenges you see facing young people today?
I think one of the biggest challenges is just that there's a lot of media, but not that much news. So there's either a lot of just purely entertainment media, or there's an inundation of news sources everywhere. But there's nothing really to capture young people's focus on current issues. I remember one thing that this actually happened really recently, and it was really striking. After I was reading about the death of Tyler Clementi in the news, and when I read it, it was devastating. And so I would be asking people, I'd be like, "Did you hear about that student from Rutgers?" And then, surprisingly, a lot of people I talked to, hadn't heard the story yet. Yeah. And that was maybe even a full 4 days after death happened. So, I think one of the biggest problems is that we don't really, the news is there, but I don't think young people think it's important enough to get involved with what's going on in politics, what's going on around us. And I think there's actually apathy towards politics, because people think, politicians, they're corrupt, they don't actually listen to our voice, that kind of thing. And so I don't think there's as much initiative to make change as there should be.
Cool. And so following up, what advice would you have for young people who are interested in becoming more involved in the political process or their communities or youth mobilization? What would you tell them?
Well, I think one of the first things is just to find out more. I would say, read the news, watch the news, and do it from different angles too. Because I think every angle has some sort of valid point to offer, and it's good to just be widely informed about that. And also if this is available to you, going to seminars is really helpful. I remember when I first saw Michelle Rhee on Time magazine, she was holding this broomstick, and she had this really stern, incredulous expression on her face, and so she seemed really scary. But when I saw her, she came to Atlanta to give a conference, and when I saw her at the conference, she was very personable, very funny. And so I think it's good to keep an open mind and see the issue from all different perspectives. And I think the other thing is just to get involved, get over that inhibition. Find something that you're interested in, and there are tons of issues out there that we can get involved in. So just find something that really gets to you, and just do it.